I'm David. I am from New York, but I've lived out in Boulder for the past 6 years and originally moved out here to pursue the field of psychology and wanting to go into therapy. And, for one reason or another, school didn't work out. And I also kind of felt like the path of the therapist was not for me. Found EBI through my roommate in college who was going through the program, and I watched him completely transform. And after a while of trying to figure out, how do I bring my gifts into a career, I started to consider EBI. And I remember the first time I experienced EBI was for the Wilderness Quest, and I remember sitting around a little circle in these camp chairs, and as soon as Michael opened his mouth and I was in this circle by this stream, it was like this explosion happened inside of me, and I just felt like I've landed and I've arrived. And it just felt like this was it. This is totally what I was meant to do. And the journey has been incredible. I've grown so much as a person. This training has gotten me to a point of feeling really confident working with people on a really deep level. And my next step of skill set that I want to acquire is actually out in the wilderness. So I'm starting a wilderness therapy job, and I have no doubt that these skills are going to really impact the clients that I'll be working with. Ultimately, down the road, I think I want to unify those skills of being out with clients for days at a time in the wilderness, using bow drills to start fires and sleeping under tents, and bring that in with the coaching skills, and ultimately lead rites of passage ceremony for both youth and adults going through transition. Do some extended wilderness trips for folks who want to really hone in on who it is that they are and what their skills are, what their gifts are, and what their purpose is in their lives, and find the strength and the commitment to themselves to actually make those changes and start living a life that's directed by soul and by purpose.
What's one or two things that you've really taken away from the last 2 days of this intensive so far?
One of the things that is standing out is intuition and how much I know and how much my clients know, and how part of this work is really going through the process of unearthing what it is that we already know. I've just been blown away by learning about how much our brains are aware of, even though it's not in our conscious awareness. And that is informing my own interaction with myself, and I've been integrating this idea of, my intuition knows best, and I just need to trust it. And the same goes for my clients, that they have an inner knowing of their core, of how they need to move forward, of how the coaching relationship needs to move. And I have just become really aware of how to tune in to those things and let go of all of the judgment that hinders my ability to show up and see myself, see the world, and see my clients at their core.
Tell us a little bit about how you have started to work with clients professionally while you're going through this program. What's that been like for you? Because a lot of people are wondering how are they going to get their business practices started and how EBI might support folks with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been someone who has started to very actively work with clients while you're in the program. What's that been like?
Well, first and foremost, the support around starting a practice is outstanding. It's more than I could have imagined going into this program. The business development mapping that we do and carefully going through each step and making sure that we're ready as students to move on to the next step in the visioning and refining what it is we actually want to bring into the world, and then the steps of how do we actually do that. The support has been amazing, and I've, ever since my first intensive, have been encouraged to see clients and integrate what I'm learning. And it's amazing to have the opportunity to bring these skills as I'm learning them into sessions with clients and experiment with them, have my mentors to bounce off ideas and to help me through what I am struggling with clients. For instance, I had a client that was dealing with some stuff that was pretty intense and really deep, and it was sort of shocking to my system to sit with that, and I had the support that I needed to really find my own strength and presence that I needed to bring in with that client. And I had my mentor who's gone through this program and has a high level of understanding of everything we're learning to help me to integrate what we learned in working with trauma, and help me figure out how it was that I was going to go back and show up for this client again as we continue to do this work.